Hello, I'm Gary Thornton. We're here at the National Chicken Council's Chicken Marketing Seminar with Kevin Phillips of Case Farms and Bill Roenigk of the National Chicken Council. We're talking about the consumer preferences for new food service chicken products survey, the results that we saw for this year's survey. Bill, there was no change in consumers' overall frequency of eating chicken purchased at retail grocery or food service in 2011. However, penetration or share at both of these sectors increased in 2011. It hit a high, in fact, compared to all the surveys conducted since 2001. What's driving this consumer behavior, and how can marketers capitalize on it?
Thank you, Gary. Good question. The survey asked what people did. We didn't ask why you did, so we have to speculate a bit. But chicken's always had a very high acceptability, both for chicken at home and away from home. And to see that penetration or additional households buying chicken at least once every 2 weeks was very gratifying. I think part of it is people are looking for value, convenience, making their food budget stretch as far as they can. And chicken, especially dark meat, and some of the new products really offer them an opportunity to do all three things. So we were pleased to see that, Gary.
Well, Kevin, you had some thoughts on how that relates to dark meat and some other things.
Yeah, one thing that we've seen is from a consumer standpoint, we are seeing a lot more people trending down, buying dark meat, drum and thigh, leg quarter versus a boneless breast. Retail prices typically are in that 99 cent to $1.29 versus $1.99 to $2.29. So we've seen some of that. We've also seen consumers, when they do see chicken on sale, if it's dark meat or white meat, they typically will go and buy more product when it's on sale. So we've seen both of those things happen. Plus, you've also got the other two proteins, and typically at the retail side, you've got your competition from a chicken standpoint is pork loins and hamburger meat. And if you go back and look, especially for the last probably 5-6 month trend, hamburger meat along with pork loins are more expensive than boneless breast, and obviously more expensive than dark meat, which would be drum and thigh and leg quarter.
Bill, the survey also showed that share among millennials, the younger population group, increased or actually decreased, even though they're the heaviest users in this year's results, whereas the greatest generation, 65 years of age and older, they're the lightest user group. Their share increased. So what's going on there?
Yes, Gary, the millennials are very good chicken consumers. We're glad to see that young consumer really take advantage of chicken's value and convenience and good taste. The millennials, I think, are 18 years to 34 years. It may be the category that's most heavily impacted by the unemployment situation, and so for them to move out of chicken, it may be their household income situation is such that they've had to trade maybe really out of the meat case and into another part of the store to really make that food budget that food budget stretch as far as it can. As far as the greatest generation, the 65 years and older, I think those consumers are bringing some of the habits with them as they move into the greatest generation, that they've grown up with chicken, and they're bringing some of those habits with them. And also, too, I think some of the new products are more convenient for them, and so if they've got a smaller household, they don't have to buy a whole chicken. They can buy something that's more convenient, and they're concerned about nutrition, and they can see a lot of these new products and parts really have good nutrition for them. Fits into their lifestyle, Gary.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, what was the tone at this year's meeting, Bill and Kevin, and what do you guys see going forward in the next 6 months to a year for the industry in terms of profitability and new products, or just what's going on in the industry?
Tone of the meeting, Gary, I think I was pleasantly surprised that the people were not dwelling on this rough patch that we're going through. It was my takeaway was good optimism, looking forward, looking to new products. Liked a lot of the information they heard from the speakers in terms of where we can go forward. And beef and pork, we heard about their situation in terms of production going forward. So we do have a great opportunity. We have to get through this sort of what we call rough patch and get to where we need to be. But I was really pleased that the people at the meeting didn't dwell on, things are not as good as they should be. They really were dwelling on, we're looking ahead and we're going to turn this corner and things are going to get a lot better for us.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think also we're seeing, if you look at the last 8 to 9 weeks, you've seen egg sets being 4% less than a year ago. Chick placements are coming down. The one thing that's not in that data is if any of the processors are breaking eggs or taking eggs out of incubators. You won't see that in the egg set numbers, but what you will see is that if they did it 6-7 weeks ago, you'll see them probably the next 3 to 4 weeks from a chick placement standpoint. So I think that number is a lot greater, and the people who are cutting back know what that number is. Obviously, the average company today is probably losing 4 to 5 cents a pound on a dress pound basis, and I think I think as an industry we agree that we've got to cut back, because at the end of the day I don't think consumers are going to go out and buy any more chicken tomorrow than they have today. So there's got to be a cutback, and I do believe that will happen.
Hey, Gary, I'll just add to that. I think exports is getting ready to improve. We've had not the best half for the first half of the year on exports, but we've seen beef and pork exports do very, very well. And we've got our challenges in Russia and China, and I'm not minimizing those challenges. They're going to be there for a while. But the cost of chicken in Brazil has gone up, and I think U.S. chicken, especially the leg quarters, is going to be more and more recognized by customers overseas. And I'm not predicting we're going to blast out of a sort of a stagnant period here on exports, but I do think we're going to have a steady climb to where we're going to look back and see a much better time of exports in the second half of this year than we did the first half.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.